Welcome to the short tutorial on the revised CF reflected in your course books. The main change between the original CF published in 2001 and the revised edition that was published in 2018, you can see the document, the PDF that you can download online in the upper left corner of the slide. The main difference is that the four macro skills, the four macro activities like reading, speaking, listening, and writing have now been redefined as perception, which is below this picture here, perception, production, and interaction, and mediation, that you will see on the next slide. You can also see that these descriptors have been updated for the revised edition of the CF, and you can see that there's a new set of descriptors added for the online interaction. That was not part of the original CF in 2001. Here you can see the skills or the descriptors for skills that were really added to this new and revised edition. That is the descriptors for plurilingual and pluricultural competence. They were in the original version of the CF, but only implicitly mentioned. They were not actually laid out as descriptors in their own right. In this short tutorial, I will mainly focus on the three subsets of descriptors for mediation, that is text, concept, and communication. So the new functions described, mediation is the first one, and I will also talk a little bit about plurilingualism and pluriculturalism. Mediation is a skill that combines receptive, productive, and interactive skills. It doesn't mean translation as such. Mediation is the expression of an idea or a concept based on new information that you link to previous knowledge. And in mediating that idea or concept, you also adapt your language to the target audience. You break down, you simplify. That being said, mediation doesn't have to be a cross-linguistic activity. It can be intralinguistic. When you mediate between people speaking different dialects of the same language, for instance, who cannot really, for whatever reason, talk to each other directly. Or a mediating activity could be where you explain someone how, say, a vending machine works and how to operate a vending machine, say, at the train station when you want to buy a train ticket. Or as you see in this cartoon here, when you explain the concept of football and the different rules of football to someone who doesn't know football. So the functions described in the new and revised edition of the CEF are already part and parcel actually of the course books for the English department. Let's Enjoy English and Grade. This example is from Grade B1, and it is an example for mediating texts. You can read this text and think about the task that you would set students when you present them with such a text. It comes from a unit on small talk. And as you see, the task says, read the text and complete the statement. You shouldn't describe people by their ... It's better to describe them by their ... So rather than presenting students with a text and then with an activity asking questions about the text or true-false questions or a matching activity, students have to take the information they've gathered from the text and put that into a new context, say advice giving. That's an example for mediating texts. The exercise that follows says, think of examples of words that are acceptable or unacceptable in your language. What advice would you give a visitor? And this is an example for mediating too. This is actually crossing the bridge to mediating concepts because there might be words or phrases that are acceptable or unacceptable in my language that you also know, but for you, the meaning is slightly different. So what is unacceptable in my language or in my dialect might be something perfectly acceptable in yours. So mediating concepts really refers to the idea that something is unknown to the other person. As in the example here, this comes from grade B1 as well, and that's from a unit on Australian English that deals with describing cultural features of Australia, giving directions, giving instructions. And that's the linguistic context of the unit. And here's a text um, read and spoken by an Australian. So the audio that goes with the text gives you an impression of Australian English. And in the text, the speaker um, defines some Aussie slang. He explains what this or that word means. And that's what I meant before when I said mediating concept is the creation of that meaning for someone who doesn't know the word or the expression. The task that I've shown you here, 5C, that follows the text, think of regional or slang words and phrases in your language, in your region, and explain them to a foreign visitor. So this is a task that doesn't explicitly say we are practicing mediating concepts here, but that's what it actually does. And mediating communication is what I'm going to talk about now. Mediating communication is directly linked with plurilingualism and pluriculturalism. So the new functions described in the CEF, mediating text and concepts and communication, online interaction, and plurilingualism and pluriculturalism. To come to an end with this short tutorial, I would like to talk about communication and plurilingualism, pluriculturalism. Just a word of caution, it is not, plurilingualism is not the same as multilingualism. If you look at the right side here, you're able to communicate in two or more languages effortlessly. That makes you a bi or multilingual person when you can converse with different people in different languages and you can switch between these languages effortlessly, then that makes you a multilingual person. By definition, you're also plurilingual and pluricultural, as you can only learn and use languages to such a degree if you have also exposed yourself to those languages and the cultures that they are embedded in. On the other hand, if you know more than one language or dialect or accent, but you don't use it regularly, then you're not multilingual or bilingual, but you're still, very much still, plurilingual and pluricultural. In my example, I speak German and English with a very high competency. I think I have a C1, C2 competency in English. And I can switch between German and English without any effort or strain on either party involved. I also know French, Spanish, Russian, and Chinese because I learned those languages at some point in my life, at university, at Volkshochschule for 1 year, for 3 years, but I don't really use them regularly. I still know about them. I have knowledge of those languages and a little bit of knowledge of the culture that these languages are embedded in. So I can carry out a very basic conversation maybe, but, and that's important, I have a lot of knowledge about the language, although I can't really use it. I'm not a proficient user, but I know about those languages. So I'm plurilingual and also pluricultural, but not multilingual. So communication comes into play, mediating communication comes into play when you want to act as an intermediary between people who do not have a common language to talk to each other, or who speak dialects of the same language that are so different that they can't or don't want to communicate with each other. Well, don't want to is maybe overstating it a bit, but can't really communicate with each other directly. And that's where you come in and help them, for which you would need that pluricultural and plurilingual competence. And that is included in our course books by way of texts, audios, and videos. In the case of Let's Enjoy English, all three of them, audios, texts, and videos. on cultural highlights and cultural features of certain varieties of English. In this case, best frenemies, a text about the USA and Canada. Learners read this text, and every text is also accompanied by tasks. So here they should read the text and then make a table of differences mentioned in the article. They can also add their own ideas, but first they would focus on the text. And then in the next exercise, they work in groups of 4. They write a short article about 150 words describing typical characteristics of their country, the country that they now live in. It's almost like Germany. And then they read their articles in class. So what happens here? Students, first of all, familiarize themselves with different English lingua cultures and different English dialects, accents, as they can also watch this video on Canada entitled Canada Calling, where they're exposed to different accents and they learn more about Canada, its culture, its political system, etc. And where was I? Yes. So then they take that information, personalize it, and that's where mediation communication comes into play. They talk about their home country, hometown, and they have to explain things that are typical of their culture and their home that might not be known to other students. Well, maybe they might be known to other students in your class because it is obviously from the same geographic background, but if you extrapolate from that, if they were in contact with speakers of other languages, say on holiday, then they would talk about their home. This is the skill. They would have to explain the things that are typical of their home and their culture. So that's mediating concepts, but also mediating communication if they then talk to different people, say over dinner on a cruise, for instance. So to conclude, the revised CF in CLET course books is greatly featured. By the way, on the slide you see the U's, which originally were little triangles. Never mind. So you see mediating texts, mediating concepts, and mediating communication are all part and parcel of the English course books by CLET, although these skills are not explicitly labeled as such. There are lots of exercises that practice the mediating of information, of concepts. Also, the plurilingual and pluricultural competencies are developed and fostered by various activities throughout grade, as for instance with the Global English section or the grade magazines, and in Let's Enjoy English with the out and about texts or the fun checks, for instance, where also cultural features, not only language, but also cultural features are used and practiced and looked at. And to conclude, more information on the revised CF is coming up in this edition of CLET Tips, the newsletter by CLET. You can also, well, you can download it at ernstkletsprachen.de. You can also download the CF Companion that I mentioned at the beginning. And as of next year, I think March 2020, the GER-Begleitband mit 9 Deskriptoren is available at the CLET store and the book stores.